The Mabee Observatory is located on the campus of Bethel College on top of the Crable Science Center in North Newton, Kansas. The primary telescope housed in the dome is a 16-inch Meade Schmidt-Cassegrain on a polar-mounted computer-controlled drive. The axis of the polar mount is aligned with the axis of the rotation of the Earth, allowing the telescope to track celestial objects by moving in one direction. The dome is motorized and can be linked to the telescope so that the opening in the dome is always aligned with the telescope. By sending commands to the drive, the telescope can be pointed at any object above the horizon. There are three basic types of telescopes. The refractor has a lens where the light enters and is focused on the eyepiece. A reflector has a mirror at the base of the tube which reflects the light to a secondary diagonal mirror and then to the eyepiece. The third type is what we have in the Mabee Observatory. Here the light enters through a corrector plate, travels to a mirror at the base, is reflected to a secondary mirror back at the top, and finally back to the eyepiece, or in our case the camera at the base. Here's a picture of the equipment on the back of the telescope, the imaging equipment. The first thing you notice on the back here is this knob which controls the coarse focus. The first piece of hardware attached to the telescope is a temperature-controlled micro-focuser. It has about a ½ inch of travel, which is divided into 112,000 steps for precise focus control. Behind that, we have something called adaptive optics. This has a lens mounted in electromagnetic coils, which can make rapid adjustments to compensate for guiding imperfections in the telescope drive or atmospheric conditions. The next piece is an autoguider, which has a small imaging chip that takes rapid images of a selected star and sends corrections to the adaptive optics and the telescope drive. This keeps the target steady for long exposures. Behind that, the filter wheel, which can hold 7 different filters that can be rotated into position in front of the camera. There are 3 narrowband filters that pass light from hydrogen, oxygen, or sulfur gases, 3 photometric filters, red, green, and blue, and a luminance filter which passes all wavelengths. Finally, we have the camera, which has a CCD chip that is 4,000 by 4,000 pixels in size. The chip is capable of being cooled to 30 degrees below 0 Celsius to reduce noise. It is a black and white camera only. To achieve color images, we blend images from different filters. One floor below the dome is the control room, where the computers that control all of the hardware are located.